Hey guys, Marvin here. Again, doing some videos for James for the Summit series. This is the first one. We're following Andrew Skirka's Ultimate Hiker's Gear Guide, and this video is really part one. And the point of part one is not gear, it's what are you doing in the backcountry, what are your goals, and what might you encounter while you're out there. So, uh, Andrew really looks at things in terms of are you hiking or are you camping, and that really means is your focus on covering miles, or is your focus on kind of planting yourself in different, hopefully scenic or picturesque spots and relaxing. So neither is better or worse. It's just important to know kind of which camp you're in or which category you're in on any given excursion. And for the Summit series, there are definitely daily mileage targets, and they're not trivial. So your mindset needs to tend towards being a backcountry hiker versus a backcountry camper. And Andrew talks about this idea of camper by default. And what he means by that is, regardless of what your intent is, if you show up unprepared for that intent, you'll end up being a camper by default because um, you will not be able to cover the mileage, or you won't have the proper equipment, or whatever the case may be. So, uh, that sort of sets up the balance of the book, which is what's the gear that you need to um, accomplish the goals that you've set. And then the other thing he talks about is really knowing what it is you're getting into before you get there. So he covers some very obvious things like what are the temperatures. That's probably the biggest deal. Uh, what's the precipitation likely to be? Is it likely to rain? Is there the possibility of snow, hail, lightning, etc.? How much daylight are you going to have every day? I mean, obviously, if you're, you know, hiking in the Arctic Circle in the summer, you've got 24 hours of daylight, and if you're hiking up there in the winter, who would do that? But anyway, well, then it's all going to be in the dark, and you probably are going to need a pretty serious headlamp, etc. What kind of what are you going to be hiking on? Is it a manicured trail? Are you going cross country on some sort of a high route through the Sierras? Are you going to be scrambling? What kind of vegetation are you going to encounter? How much sun is there going to be? And so, in our particular case in Colorado, most of the trail is going to be above tree line, and so sun exposure is going to be, pretty serious, and making sure we're protected. Another huge deal, obviously, is how much water is there going to be along the trail. How frequently are you going to be able to resupply your water? How certain is that water? Because that goes into how much you're going to have to carry between water sources. Um, Another big deal is what kind of wildlife. So in the Sierras, in Wyoming and Montana, for example, there are bears. There are always mice and squirrels and sometimes snakes and scorpions and you know uh, mosquitoes and flies and what have you. So, what sorts of fauna are you going to encounter, and how are you going to potentially deal with that? The most common things that people talk about are bears and protecting your food, and then mosquitoes or other biting insects that can make things pretty miserable. And then, how far are you from help? How remote is it? Um, and for parts of our hike, we're going to be a long ways. We're doing the Collegiate West route uh, of the Colorado Trail, and it's high, it's rugged, and there are not a ton of bailout options. All right, so you need to know all those things in order to know how to prepare, um, whether it's how much food you're going to carry, how much water you're going to carry, how warm a sleeping bag you need, do you need a down jacket? Do you need hood, boots, whatever? So for whatever your hike is, think through all of that stuff uh, and make sure that you know those things as information that you're going to feed forward into your gear selection. All right, so thank you for watching part one. Hopefully that was helpful, and we'll catch you on the next one.